On this channel, we like to ride and talk about metro systems all over the world, and today I want to discuss a specific European metro system. This is a map of Europe, and these are all the European countries with one or more metro systems. If we take a closer look, these are the countries that only have one metro, and in all of these countries, it is the capital and largest city which has their singular metro system. Except for Switzerland. Switzerland is famous for its extensive, punctual, and electric railway network, often praised as one of the best in the world. But it finds itself in the extraordinary position where the country's only metro system is not in its largest city, nor is it in its capital. Zurich, the largest Swiss city, has a dense suburban rail network and a large tram system. They even have a suburban train that turns into a tram when it reaches the city, but no subway. For Geneva, the second largest city, and Basel, the third largest. Basel's tram network even has 2 operators and goes through 3 countries. Now, to find Switzerland's singular metro system, you have to go to Lausanne, in the French-speaking western part of the country. Lausanne, a town on Lake Geneva, or Lac Léman in French, has a population of 140,000 in the city proper and about 400,000 in the surrounding region. It is by no means an insignificant city. In terms of trains, it is served by long-distance trains from all over the country, and even TGVs from France. It is the home of Switzerland's Supreme Court, and internationally it is best known as where the headquarters of the International Olympic Committee are located. Despite all that, 140,000 still isn't a very large population on the global scale, and so Lausanne is the world's smallest city to have a metro system. Wait, what about Zerfaus in Austria? They only have 1,100 people and their own U-Bahn. Yeah, I guess, but is that not really an underground cable car? The jury's out on this one. The roots of the Lausanne Metro actually trace back to cable cars too. In 1877, a funicular opened between Ouchy and the city center. In 1959, it was converted to a rack railway and rebranded Metro. A rack railway is a type of train that uses a cogwheel to climb steep slopes. Some of the stations were moved underground during that conversion, but it wouldn't be the last major switch in this line's history. In 2006, it was closed again, this time converted to a rubber tire subway. In 2008, it reopened as the new Metro Line 2, formed by the original railway as well as an extension to Croisset, bringing the total length to 6.5 kilometers. Because it used to be a funicular, the line is incredibly steep. It climbs a total of 340 meters, and at some points, the grade is as steep as 12%. This is where the rubber tires come in handy. The trains are based on those used on the Paris Metro, and they are fully automated, meaning that no driver is necessary. But if this is Line 2, what about Line 1? Well, at the Flon interchange station, we can change to Line 1. Line 1 is 7.8 kilometers long with 15 stations. It first opened in 1991, but it wasn't branded as a metro line until 2000. Really, Line 1 is more of a light rail. It has some underground sections, but it mostly runs at grade with railroad crossings. Interestingly, much of the line is single-tracked, with trains passing each other at stations. That's quite unique for a metro line. Line 1 passes through 2 university campuses, and thus it is an important service for many students. Now let's go back and ride 2 once more. Lausanne is such a fascinating case study to me for 2 reasons. One, it teaches us that building a well-used rapid transit network does not necessarily require a city to start completely from scratch or to build huge, massive projects. Lausanne converted an existing funicular to a metro, and it runs light rail on a single-track line. Of course, in a bigger city, and even here actually, capacity does become a concern with stuff like this, but it shows that you can start somewhere. And it brings me to my second point. Size doesn't really matter. Density does. Lausanne's urban population is about the same as Jackson, Mississippi, or Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And Jackson, for example, has way more people living in the metropolitan area around it. A city's size shouldn't be an argument against building a rapid transit system. Rather, it has to do with the decisions that city planners make. But it leads me to my final question: why don't other large Swiss cities have metro systems? Well, believe it or not, Zurich tried multiple times in the last century, but the plans were rejected largely each time they came up in a referendum. Instead, they ended up investing in improved S-Bahn and tram services. And in most large Swiss cities, you'll notice that getting around with the existing transit options already works quite well. Services are often coordinated to make travel as convenient as possible. Sure, Switzerland also has highways and parking lots, but from intercity trains which arrive at major stations at the same time, to small villages served hourly by train, to hotels that offer free transit access to their guests, there is a lot we can learn from the Swiss when it comes to promoting transportation solutions that are efficient and sustainable. It comes as no surprise to me that the world's smallest city with a metro would be in Switzerland. But how cool would it be if an even smaller city somewhere in the world built a metro? What city do you think that should be? Let me know in the comments below. As always, thanks so much for watching.